How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I ended up getting like the main section of this map done called Time Bomb, or not the main section, like the first third. The first one I'm doing is repairing the pumping station. So the other day you had to drive over to the port, and eventually, as I said, you need to deliver 4 objects down here. That's the cargo container, the water tank or fuel tank, and then 2 kind of generator motor looking things. You might want to bring like a mule or something with a little crane as well, because obviously the run out of bloody flags again. Yeah, this Zix heavy transporter thing ain't really going to drop these off too well. I've kind of edited quite a lot out of this first mission, because the main one is the next mission I'm doing, which is a little bit more complicated, not too crazy. It's a bit of a long mission as well. Yeah, so following kind of out the port, down here, past my coastal base really, and down to here. And then for what it's worth, I did this on the live stream the other day or week or whatever it was. There is enough room on the trailer to fit everything. I ended up putting the water tank on top of the cargo container and strapping it down, which did work. But this bridge has a height limit, so then it got caught on that, so in the end, like, yeah, it's best off laying it low enough that it will actually make it under there. And then now, I mean, this thing gets stuck everywhere, but since I've figured out it kind of gets stuck everywhere, now I'm specifically, like, riding the mound, that's what she said, like, move the vehicle over to the left, so my, like, one row of tyres is kind of in the middle of the road. Otherwise, like, just this little hump in the road is enough, like, I mean, this thing needs a bit more oomph than that anyway, but I think it's, you got like the axles of the 5 rear tyres on the trailer that are sort of just, yeah, don't have that much ground clearance, and when there's a bit of like a mound in the middle of the road, they just drag along it, and then, yeah, that really doesn't help the situation. This was about the first time I don't think I got stuck anywhere. Again, like, I got close, it went pretty slow in certain sections, but I actually never ran out of juice quite. My coastal base is on the right. This is like a little sand bit I sort of built the other day. And yeah, overall, like, this mission isn't too complicated. Again, when you've got to go to the port, I took the heavy transport vehicle and a crane as well, so made life pretty easy, ticking off that part of the mission. And then yeah, just cutting ahead because it's pretty simple stuff, driving along with this thing. When you get here, there's like a gate in the way. You can drive round, like you can see sort of up ahead. There is an open section, but it's pretty damn deep. I ended up ramming into a tractor that was like pretty much fully submerged. Yeah, I had a mule nearby at the kind of train station, I don't know. Some kind of thing it keeps making us deliver, where it makes us deliver the canisters. In this gate, one, when you ram it, it doesn't bounce back the other way. But also, when you open it like so, it just kept springing back. In the end, I kind of rammed it. I parked the mule in the way and then rammed the heavy transport vehicle into it, and it seems to have like wedged it enough that it stayed open. Finally listened to reason. Yeah, like I say, you're best off bringing a mule really, because once you get here, you can try and awkwardly like bump everything off the trailer, but let's be honest, it's probably gonna take more time than just bringing one of these. I had to be stubborn, like, hell no, I'm not going around the long way. We can make it. Yeah, thankfully, for at least 3 of the things here, they've kind of got a blue ghost of what you got to drop where, otherwise you wouldn't really, no, the only one that doesn't is the cargo container, but by the power of deduction, I figured out that must be the random square. And then now, look, when I was getting the cargo container off the trailer, it's so stuck on there. I'm not sure if it's the rear ramps that have like folded up. I mean, it tipped me over even with my crane legs out as well. It didn't quite get me this time. I tried. Yeah, I don't know why it seemed extra stuck on the trailer. In the end, it eventually kind of popped off as if it was like, electromagnets, and they got turned off, and it suddenly realised that it did need to get onto my mule sideboard. Yeah, it's a bit of a whopper again. Like, ain't no chance of fitting in the actual sideboard, so load it on sideways, get it strapped in. Funnily enough, like, this feels more boaty now than when I was moving them like mini dam things yesterday. But I think they were heavier. Just, yeah, I have to like, I knew eventually it's bound to fall off if I keep flooring it backwards and forwards. Landed there, but then it still needed a bit of an extra nudge get in there. That's what she said. Grab these two, yeah. Generator, motor, start playing, whatever. Ram into the Zix. It's important. It's the most important part of the mission. Yeah, at least if you open that gate and cut around this way, you don't have to faff around with any of the, like, seriously deep water that's also got, yeah, scrap up to and including a tractor. Kind of submerged underwater that you can catch yourself on, it's not really worth it. Both these dropped off, and yeah, like I say, this mission, pretty simple in the scheme of things. And then that unlocks, like, by the way, this was the only mission I had left. I've done all the side objectives up to now. There may be more in the future, but I've got access to no others. So this was the last mission, but then now it's unlocked. Get the pipes running again, which there's two objects to deliver. They're like valves for a pipe system thing, so they're both over here in the train car. And one of them wants to go there. And then one you kind of follow all the way back around north of the port again, and one wants to go there. But the other thing is fix 4 pipes. And I don't like how nondescript it is. It just brings you over to there. But there's one there. There's one there. And you think, like, oh, that's not too bad. But then the third one is all the way on the right-hand side up here. And then the fourth one is kind of getting over to the left-hand side between sort of the roadside base and the concrete plant. So it's a bit of a trek, and kind of in the end I figured out the best route that I want to do is spawn at the coastal base and grab 3 pipes, well 2, I'll explain in a minute. Head down this way, fix that pipe there, and then there's one around there, grab both valves, head back this way, fix that valve, grab another pipe from the base, again I'll explain in a minute, sorry, and then fix the second valve, and then fix the third pipe, and then for the 4th pipe I was thinking, like, I might just spawn at the tunnel exit base. So for this, I thought I'll just grab the mule that I've got here, recover it to the coastal base. And yeah, the reason why, like, I'm going to spawn 3 pipes now, but I actually want to kind of drop one, preferably, like, over next to that sand mound in the background. So that's why I specifically didn't strap them in at the minute, because my reasoning was, like, you have to do a bit of doubling back on yourself. I'd like to drop the pipe somewhere around there. Yeah, so there's no point really in carrying like all of them. The only reason I wanted to like get a pipe and drop it a little bit further down here is just so when I'm doubling back on myself I didn't have to fully go back into the garage. It fell out a little bit quicker than I was hoping, somewhere around here, but not the end of the world. I at least got it out of the storage or whatever and kind of got it a bit nearer so I don't have to faff around too much with that. And yeah, like I say, along here I'm going to fix 2 pipes, then grab the valves, and then come back and fix one of them, grab another pipe, fix the second valve, and then repair the 3rd pipe. It just... One, I was thinking like a space issue in my sideboard, like if I had 3 pipes, then I've got to fit at least a couple of valves in. I already would have fixed some pipes, but there'll be at least 1 pipe left in my sideboard, and that will just get in the way of like packing the valves in there and so on, so it just made more sense really to do it this way. And like I said, there's no real... this probably is the quickest, most efficient way around doing it all, really, because it ends up being like the first 2 pipes are along this southern section, so that's not too bad. But the other ones, yeah, basically in like opposite top corners of the map, basically. So one way or another, you're going to have to do a bit of a drive around. And the reason I crossed that bridge and drove along like this muddier section, when you get over to this pipe down here, I just reckon you can see the road from the other side, but I don't know how deep the water is between the road and the pipe section, and the chances are, knowing my luck, it'll be pretty deep. So I just figured, like, if I go around this way, I could at least follow like the bank along here. And yeah, when I'm actually there, like the water this side looks shallow enough, you can see little bits of grass sticking out of the water and all sorts. Yeah, you can see in the background behind me, like little, behind the pipe and everything, you can see the road in the background. And there is that tree and rock, but yeah, between that tree and rock and these pipes, I didn't know how ruthless it was going to be. Get that, knock that one out of the way, and thankfully it still went green, even though it was at like pretty much perfect 90-degree angle. One down. Overall, once I planned it out this way, and that this mission actually went alright really in the end. It's just, yeah, whichever way you look at it, you gotta spawn 4 pipes, deliver 4 pipes, and collect 2 valves and deliver 2 valves, so it's a bit of a long-ass mission. And then driving through here, to my left is that same like little yard where it makes us take the canisters to, or has so far. Maybe there is other places it wants future ones taken. Yeah, sort of join back up the road here. Got my little makeshift pipe bridge thing going on here. It's actually worked out pretty nice. I was originally going to fix it once I unlocked like concrete slab bridges and all the rest of it, but I think I might just leave it as it is. And then it looked like more of a dip down on the bird's eye view, but it's actually not that bad, sort of swerving off the road there and just driving in here. And this one, like, to be honest, recently I've grabbed a few of those and ripped them out before I've put the new pipe in, and they actually pop out. For a while they were pretty ruthless, they nearly made you tip your vehicles. They seem to pop out quite easy now, so I probably could have just got that out first and then done that, but yeah, I thought we'll give it a go. Overall though, went pretty smoothly. And then yeah, you see now I've got no pipes left in my sideboard, so now when I go and grab the 2 valves, I don't just have that in the way, because the valves are pretty massive as well. Like, I think 2 of them. Push, I remember actually on, is it Sand Swept? There might have been 3 I had to deliver, but I had to stack like 2 facing one way and 1 the other way just to get them all to fit in. And then now, I was going to carry on going straight down the road, but I've got here, I was like, hang on a minute. Does the train tracks, it's pretty much the back of this sawmill thing I want to get to, so I was like, yeah, sod it, I'll follow the tracks then. It's all going pretty well so far. What could possibly go wrong? Flying down here, I wasn't even really looking. Well, I was, but not as intensely as I should have been. More looking in the distance at the markers and stuff, and I was like, what the hell? I still didn't even see the thing I'd hit at this point. I thought I was done, but if I had the crane legs out, it rotated me beyond 90 degrees, just long enough that I thought I might be able to get the menu and get the bloody crane out just in time, so save myself. Look around thinking, what the hell did I even hit? I'm like, oh, a black and white stick, like, what the hell? What are you using that for? Measuring zebras. Can't measure a zebra with a black and white stick. Should be some kind of meaningful deep saying. Yeah, so just following those train tracks helped me like just get into the back of this yard instead of going in the front way and then wiggling around all the various shit lying around in this place. Grab both of them. There is a gantry crane there, but let's be honest, like, it's rare that the gantry crane thing is like the quickest option. Too slow for their own good. Yeah, so you can see now, like, got both the valves in. If there was also a pipe in the sideboard, it'd just make life a bit more awkward. And at this point, I thought, well, I'll just follow the rail tracks back out of here to the main road, really. Avoid that bloody zebra stick. You do get caught on the rails, though. That's like, you're not always like now. I was trying to steer, but because my wheels are kind of following the tracks, those red pipe valve handle things are catching on these. And yeah, I mean, so far, I had 5 pipes, by the way, at the start of this. I've spawned 3 so far, and I'm going to need 4 in total. So there isn't, as far as I'm aware, I looked around, a steel pipes facility. Actually worked in my favour there, catching on that, steered me the way I want to go. Yeah, so 2 options. I was originally thinking, like, as I'm going down to grab those valves, and I'm basically where the construction zone is, I could also just buy the pipes, but I thought at that point I'm going to need to buy all 4, and I'm also grabbing the valves there as well, so trying to fit 4 pipes and these, I'm sure it's doable and I could sit there and faff around and balance them, but then even at that point, I'm going to have a pretty heavily loaded vehicle, and as well, like I say, I was thinking of getting the first 3 pipes fixed and then essentially just fast travel or whatever, recover back over to the, what do you call it, tunnel exit base. Probably would have been better just to drive on the other side of this, but I started to reach, always have overconfidence with how far this crane is going to reach. And then I had to use the game's mechanics, like, right, I'll move it over to the side, That'll tip me a bit and then fling it forward. Like, yes, try game. Deploy the crane legs for that one. And then I'll speed it up a little bit. I wanted to kind of leave the entire mission in to show which way I'm going and whatnot, but pretty simple, doubling back on myself at this point. And yeah, this is where, in theory, I wanted to drop one of the pipes about here, just so I want to veer off to the right, but I just have to quickly nip back up this road a little bit. Grab this one, but again, it's better than having to, I don't know, go all the way into the base. And then, yeah, I mean, I could have probably moved the valve around and all the rest of it. Got the pipe laying in lengthways in the sideboard, but sod it. This'll do, as long as it straps it down. And then, I mean, at this point, I'm basically doubling back on myself. This is the opposite way, though, where I drove that Zix heavy transport vehicle, which, yeah, Zix light transport vehicle / cloud transport vehicle. I quite like this mule, actually, as a, like, I think I would have preferred it even if it was identical to just the normal mule we've got. I think I'd have preferred it just because the tyres look more cool, I suppose. Bigger, fatter off-road tyres. But I actually think it's better. It's still a little bit, like, slow building up to speed because they seem to have killed, like, the mule gearbox in general. But ticking along, this thing, yeah, I've been using it for various different missions, as it's one of the few crane sideboard combo vehicles we've got. But ever since they released that Voron, I was using that pretty much since then, and I think that was better than the mule. And then now they've got this. I mean, I was just driving it because it was a newer vehicle, really, but I actually think out of the three options, you got like the Voron crane sideboard, the standard mule, and then this one. I think this is probably the best one. Yeah, cutting across here, I did a mission yesterday and it drained all the water a lot lower, so this used to be like practically just underwater crossing here, but... And there was potentially, I could have cut across the rail bridge and whatnot, but I actually wanted to come this way just to see how bad like the mud was on that when the water's gone. Pretty standard stuff, but yeah, this thing ticks over it nicely. There's a fat hole in the road there. I suppose at some point I do need to bring some bike or trucks or whatever and fill that in, because it's a bit inconvenient to keep driving around here all the time. The frame rate, at least it's not like a consistent frame rate drop, but the amount of times it does like a stutter where it sort of goes to 1 FPS for like a second, if that. It's always when you're trying to just put a bit of steering input or something. And then yeah, overcooked it, well, started sliding down the bank a little bit easy. I'm surprised it slid and tipped over as easy as it did. I knew, like, I got the crane legs out and was like, no, just retract them because it'll make it more awkward to flip it. Had a crane pretty nearby where I did that mission yesterday to drop like the little mini dam things off, so yeah, at that point that's why I was like, just accept that I'm going to have to bring a vehicle and rescue myself. Jump down here to get me flag. And then yeah, like, looking, I could have gone a little bit further north and cut across and come back down, but thought we'd wing it, cut through the trees. Thankfully, I'm actually on like one bit of the rail track where I could pretty much cross without falling into a ditch or having to climb up a wall or any of that. And to be fair, this one's a little bit iffy. Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I actually just, like, that big crane that I used to flip this, I could have grabbed the pipe off this and brought it here with the big crane. Because as you can see, it kind of dips down quite low there. There's a load of crap in the way, but I ended up moving the green cargo container and one of those dented up fuel water tank things out of the way. I could have moved a bit more over to the left, but other than that, this was about as close as I could get. If you went round, like, you can see the rocks are kind of in the way. I don't know if the crane would reach up and over far enough. Thankfully, kind of swung it around to where I thought once I let go, it'll hopefully roll into the zone, which it did. Got pretty fortunate tonight with just kind of throwing the various things into the place they need to go and they actually land there. And then yeah, so that's both pipes, both valves done, 2 of the pipes fixed. And now I'm heading north, over on like the left hand side of the island. Here's where I was sending the AI vehicles the other day, the ones that deliver sand that they keep They keep getting stuck here. Now once they've crashed and spilt that sand, like, they kept popping up saying they get stuck there every time now, because they're getting stuck on their own sand. So I've ended up routing them. Yeah, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but thanks to whoever commented and said there's like an easier way to cut the AI vehicles up to the concrete plant, because I believe I've sent them the route that you meant. It's also like, it was mostly underwater, but not by much. I drove the crane down when I was delivering that dam thing yesterday, but now the water's drained, it's actually a pretty simpler cutting over from where them vehicles spawn to the concrete plant. And then yeah, getting here, I was like, do I go left or right? It's ended up better just to cut through like this blue zone really. If I went left, there's only like a bit of water and all that sort of gets in the way at that point. I was like, oh, a bit of concrete scrap. Which now I've looked around about, I have seen a few more pieces, but I don't know, it just didn't seem like that many on this map compared to some maps. Seemed like it was all over the bloody place. See there, like, I actually got that old broken pipe and ripped it out, whereas like it didn't try and tip me over and all the rest of it. I just had to, because I thought even if I throw this one in, it's only gonna, like, it won't knock that one out of the way enough, I reckon. Yeah, threw that one in there. That's 3 out of 4 done. And then at this point, recover over to the tunnel exit base. So I'm now in like the top right of the map again. Spawn one more pipe from the storage section thing. And then yeah, basically follow the road down, get to this bridge, which is one of the only sort of original crossings. Get over to here, climb up the bank, and then there's along like a little cliff edge here really, and then yeah, the last pipe that needs fixing is there. See the red flag in the background? I ended up putting red flags on them because they were confusing me. Well, not confusing me, but every time I kept going in the bird's eye view, it's where the bloody hell is it? It doesn't light them up. Even if you click on the actual mission, it just takes you back over to the pump station, not the actual individual pipes that need fixing. Yeah, in the end, I was considering, like, by the time I fixed the third pipe, I was actually pretty near the roadside base, and I don't think it would have made that much difference, just driving there, spawning a pipe from there, and cutting across the various roads I have, but I figured I've not really, since the beginning of the game, I've kind of not even been in this section much. Or the tunnel exit base, haven't really had to use this road. I suppose some of the AI vehicles did, so it probably still came in handy, but yeah, I just figured we'll spawn over here, have a little look what's going on these days. There's me scalper smashed into the trees. That's where it belongs. Yeah, I'm not sure in the end. Like, these bridges, the one I'm about to go across is obviously like the thing's level, so you can drive across it. Some of the other bridges are raised up. I don't know if there's ever going to be a mission that sort of lowers them down, or if they're just permanently, I don't know, just there to be a cock tease that you can't quite get over. Good little view going through it. In the end, it's best to just do first person for crossing them, otherwise the camera just kind of rams into the bridge itself. So I really wanted that flag, so I was going to turn the corner and I was like, nah, I won't make it. Thankfully, I kind of got caught. Turned me sharp enough to get that, and then yeah, you can see there's like a little narrow cliff edge running along here. Not too bad, but if you fall off, you're still pretty certain you're gonna have to go round, and it gets pretty narrow up ahead. There's like little, I don't know, metal plank things, yeah. Don't fuck it up now. Yeah, again, rip that out, comes out pretty easily. I was trying to fling it down the cliff, but it kind of just swung round because the crane wasn't really listening, and near enough landed in the sideboard. Couldn't have done that if I tried. Throw that one in, job's a good one. So this is where Kelly should be popping up now and explaining what's going on. Yeah, goal complete, time bomb, that's like, again, the first third, I think, at the end of the map done, like the little green bars that fill up. Job's good, and unlocked a few more objectives, but I won't even look in them tonight. Just get yourself a loaf. That's what we've learned. 50% now. I think, was it on 49 or 47% yesterday? Maybe 47. It seems a bit erratic with how much it goes up. Yeah, a little look at the missions. Slowly ticking along. A little look at the stats. Climbing up. Main objectives. Got about another, what, 24 to go. Yeah, that's about it for today. Hope you enjoyed. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf because he's goddamn professional. And I'll be back soon.